mostly known for not talking, and now all I do is talk. I really feel like, honestly, I mean, I'm not one to pat myself on the back. I grew up fat, so I tend to have a low opinion of myself, but I will say this. Based on how much I speak now, I feel like retroactively, a fucking Academy Award should be given to me, because imagine how difficult it was for me to not fucking talk in all those movies based on what I did. So I used to make flicks, and I'm kind of at the tail end of that. I ran out of steam for it. I used to be full of piss and vinegar when I was a kid when I wanted to start. I got it. Somebody time me to a minute, otherwise these guys will never go. Let me try to condense it. Recently, I used to make movies. Some people think I still kind of do. The movies I used to make, nobody really wants to finance anymore. They want to make shit like, you know, fucking this superhero met this one and fucked up. This guy turned into a bus and fought a car. You know? Which I get, like, you know, everyone wants to go to the movies to escape. And there was a period in the mid-90s to like kind of the mid-2000s, mid-aughts as they say, where people were content to go to the movie theater, pay to sit down in a movie theater and watch movies about themselves. Now we're back to a place where, thanks to the democratization of multimedia, any motherfucker in this room can pick up a camera and tell their own story. That's something I'm a huge proponent of. Like, I made this movie that started my whole fucking career. It's a picture called Clerks. All of that. We have so much food. I just got laid last night. I don't need that. But when I made that flick, that was meant to be a snapshot of like me and my friends, but I couldn't just, in those days you didn't turn the camera on you and your fucking friends unless you were like, lock them in a fucking latrine and roll them down a hill, bitch, you know, that. And me and my friends were total pussies. We didn't want to do that, smell each other's farts, nothing. So we would essentially, I said, let me come up with a fictionalized version of what we did, and that's where that movie was. What I like about doing now is you take the blinders off of the fictionalized version and just be like, here's me and my friends. And I've found that my friends over the years have been the most interesting people I've known, content generators supreme. And that's why I kind of got turned on to when I jumped into the world of podcasting. I was like, hey man, what I was doing before, I was limiting myself. Like, don't get me wrong, I like making movies, but it's this weird art form that just costs so much time, money, fucking sanity and shit like that. Like if I was a painter and I have a blank canvas, I'd turn around and slap some fucking paint on it. I could express myself, man. If I was fucking a cake maker and shit, I could pour my heart into it and you'd be like, I know how he feels in his heart based on a fucking cake bit. You know, if I was a singer, I'd open up, I could sing, emote and shit, you would know how I felt inside, but I'm not. Unfortunately, I stumbled into film, which is the only art form that, you know, in which the artist says, I need to express myself. Give me $20 million and Ben Affleck, you know. And that's just, it's so fucking,
Exactly that.
What? I missed that, man. All I heard was the creepy laugh, and I was like, what happened? What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I was saying, like, you actually did that, Ben Affleck.
I did, yeah, that was the... Translation for you. Alright, so wait, where was I going with that? Hold on, you got me off my train of thought, so I'm jumping right back on it. Now, hold on, let me wrap up, I'll hand it over to Grace. Now I got to a place where I'm like, I want to express myself like this. Like, I started watching fucking YouTube videos years and years ago and shit. And I was, at first it was like, oh wow, look what the kids are doing. And then you start going, oh wow, look what the adults are doing. And then you're like, wait, why aren't I doing this? Because it's so much easier. As was just pointed out, you do it once, and then the next day, you can do it all over fucking again, man. Like, that appealed to me I like to think of myself as an artist. As an artist, I want to be able to express myself as much as I possibly can. Film is the slowest process in the world in which to do it. You write a script, sometimes it takes you 4 years to get that thought across to people. So the idea of immediacy, of new media, which is just like, I want to say it right now, share it, get it off my chest, and move on. That's, for a guy that has a lot to say, man, that's where you want to be. And it's so easy to leave behind, like, the world where they pay money and shit like that for you to make pretend, because that's really all I did for the last 20 years. Somebody was like, you want to make pretend, here's a bunch of money. I was like, thanks. Now I want to make pretend with no limits whatsoever, and I don't give a shit if somebody's like, here's money or not, because it's like, it's available to me. I can do it, the technology's here. had this shit invented when back in the early 90s, I wouldn't have made Clerks. I just would have made YouTube videos, wrap it up. And I'm gonna hand it over to these cats right now. But I'm with you all, man. My heart is, that's why when I heard about this shit, I was like, oh, I'm totally coming this year. That's not pandering, that's just like, I look out in front of me, man, and what I see is all the possibility. Every one of you is a fucking interesting content generator. That's what I tell all my fucking friends, that's what I tell everyone to meet, man. People ask me like, I want to be a filmmaker like you. I was like, look, film is fine, but I'll be honest with you, it's expensive. You want to do something way less expensive? Open up your fucking laptop. We all have a laptop now, or you got access to one. And you don't need pie in the sky. You don't need to be like, one day I'll get money and do this shit. You can start it fucking right now, and everybody you know is an interesting content generator. You sit them down in front of your laptop, you plug the mic in, or you put your little camera on and shit like that. Just start talking, because everyone's story is individual, man. This is what I learned in film. The moment you get in, I'll head over to good thought. The moment you get in, we'll hand it, I swear, and then I'll shut up. The moment you get in for doing something individual, for being yourself, for doing something that nobody else has done, or expressing something in a very unique way suddenly, first thing they try to do is shave off all your edges and take off all that individuality. Your individuality is your fucking currency. Don't let anyone tell you any different. For 20 years I was told to same it up. Make it like these motherfuckers. Sheep it up. And not these guys, but you know, fuckers out there. Like, make it like something else. They're always trying to tell you like, oh, can't you do it more like this? We were on our way to make Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and fucking Bob Weinstein goes, I want to sit you down and watch a movie, man. This is a movie called Road Trip. This is how you make a movie. There were 4 movies at that point, and that dude was like, this is how you fucking do it. And I was like, that's not how I want to do it, man. That's how he did it. I want to do it in my own individual way. If you get to keep your individuality, that is your fucking currency, man. That's what's going to make you special, because nobody else can, everyone can tell that fucking story about this motherfucker when the parents got killed, and I'm so mad.
You stuck a dick in that movie.
I did, thank you. Thank you. Now I feel bad about it. Anybody can fucking tell this. Not it. You know, Chris Nolan does it with Class and shit, and Joss Whedon did a great job. Of course. But anybody can tell the fucking story of this dude's parents got killed. Now I'm mad at the world. I'm gonna put on a mask and beat the fuck out of somebody for it. Like, it's been told time and time again. What hasn't been told time and time again is your fucking story. Your story about the weird threesome you had with the fucking buddies since childhood, where you didn't know what to say afterwards, but you liked it. And your story over there about how you like to fuck cakes, and that's why you're here today. Don't bring it back, man. Bring it back. Everybody has an individual story to tell that's far more interesting than the shit we all shell out to see at a multiplex. So I'm just trying to hip cats to this, man. It's okay to be entertained, but now with the technology we have in front of us, you can be entertaining. Don't just fucking satisfy. Don't settle for sitting there and having somebody say, this is a fucking movie you will enjoy because it's the only one you're getting this week. Fucking, you are entertained. No, create your own fucking entertainment. When you get frustrated, when you're like, I hate all the shit that's on TV or in the movies, create new shit for yourself, man. Get together with some friends and just do shit that hasn't been done before. That's all Clerks was. I was like, this didn't exist before. Now I want to create it. Now it exists, man. Do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys.